What's up guys? Today I have a preview for you of an upcoming release from Murphy and McNeil, and that is Gael Laoch Orange. Also, we're going to take a look at a new razor in my den, and that is the Chiseled Face Titanium Legacy, coming right up. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host John, aka Latherhog. If this is your first time here and you're looking for a channel that has content covering the world of wet shaving, then you've come to the right place. So I have a sneak peek for you guys today on a scent that's coming out from Murphy and McNeil, and this is one of those collaborations with John Perry and Rafa from Xicano Design. And we're looking at Gael Laoch Orange. And Gael Laoch, the original one, was based on Creed Viking, a cologne that actually, through that software set, I wound up falling in love with the scent that inspired it all. And very similarly, Gael Laoch Orange is based on a flanker of Creed Viking, and that's Creed Viking Cologne. Now, just a little bit of a disclaimer, I was given early access to purchase this release, so this is not a free product. Also, you might see other content creators cover Gael Laoch Orange, or the other scent that's coming along at the same time, and that's Barbershop de los Muertos 3. First off, I want to mention there were some really nice details that were paid attention to, some nice flourishes in the packaging of this soap set. And while I expected a smaller box, given it was one soap, one splash, I was quite surprised at the larger packaging box it came in, and just some really nice presentation. So now that I've shown you some of the really nice presentation, let's take a closer look at the actual product itself. So Gael Laoch Orange we have right here. It's continuing that same theme. Xicano Design quite often uses skulls as a design motif. This is, as you couldn't guess already, it's a very bright citrusy scent. So while not necessarily matching the winter season, I don't think this was meant to. This actually is wrapping up, I guess for the time being, although never say never, this is wrapping up those collaborations, both with Gael Laoch and Barbershop de los Muertos 3. So it's kind of closing a chapter, some really great scents. Most of these were all different, inspired by scents, but I have to say that the choices that both John and Rafa, I'm not sure how the duties are split up as far as the scent that's chosen, but the ones that they did go with were ones that we have not seen in the world of wet shaving, and usually quite popular amongst people who are into perfumes and fragrances. So this is no different. I was really excited to be given the chance to try this one, again, given how much I liked Gael Laoch. So again, top design, side labels, all very on point. This is featured in the Kodiak base, which kind of notably uses bear tallow. And this thing just, I haven't even put my nose to it. I just opened it up and it pops. The scent just pops right out of the tub. And let's bring it closer to the nose. And what I primarily get is this blast of citrus and a very kind of clean, almost lavender, woody-like vibe. Also, what doesn't hurt at all is that I had my wife give this a sniff just before I start recording, and she was quite a big fan, because I know she likes clean scents, she likes citrus scents. This is both of them. So already it's a winner with Mrs. Latherhog, if you will. Just very pleasant. I think this is going to be a banger for spring and summer, but it's also that kind of perfect scent if you need some brightness. If you live in a cold place and have cold winters like I do in New England, this is going to be a nice reminder of warmer weather when you're kind of in the thick of it, as far as cold weather, blizzards, and all that stuff goes. Now, as far as the firmness of the soap base, Kodiak is pretty firm. Actually, it takes a bit to press in there. Once you do, some residue comes off on the finger, but fairly firm soap, not super duper soft or anything like that. Also, a quick look at the packaging of the matching splash. We've seen this before, and I do like the detail of kind of this nice little leather accent on the cap. And matching labels, ingredient list, rectangle frosted bottle. And let's just see here. There's the restrictor. Got some on my lip. And the scent, also very nice out of the bottle here. Next up for my razor today is one that I haven't used yet on the channel, although I've gotten 2 shaves with it before. And this is from Chiseled Face, the Titanium Legacy. And that's right, you didn't hear me wrong. Chiseled Face, who is primarily known for making software, soaps, and aftershave. They're in the hardware game as well. And they've dabbled in hardware before, but I've been hearing great things from a number of people on the Discord, from Gerard, who I do the podcast with, that this is a kind of a smooth, mild razor that has nice efficiency. So I went with this one. This is the raw finish, which I was able to save some money on. It's still a titanium razor. It basically brought it around $200. If you get the polished one, it actually it's closer to $300. I'll check the exact price for you guys, but it comes with nicer packaging. Again, the finish, the polish is very nice as well. But I just want to try the razor, and I don't mind if there's some machine marks as long as it shaves well. So that's where it is a more expensive razor, but even I am looking ways to save where I can. So just wanted to put that out there. Now here's a closer look at the actual razor head. So you can see some nice details there. All the information about the razor itself, including what number of the batch it is all right there stamped on the base plate. And as far as the razor blade goes, we're going with a fresh Polsilver Super Iridium blade. And last but not least is my brush for today, and that is from Turn and Shave. This one was a custom that I got a few years back from Milton, basically inspired by the Everready 200, very solid vintage looking brush. It's butterscotch, but I think it's a little bit more than that. It's got some nice white swirls and even looks opaque in some portions of this brush. Main reason I'm going with this is, you guys know I like to match my software with my brush, so there you go, some matchy-matchy. And as far as the knot itself, this is a 26mm Fanchurian knot from Chisel and Hound. And this is from actually way back when. I think this is actually a V1 Fanchurian, which is quite jelly, quite soft, but still has enough backbone for my liking. And as far as beard growth goes for today's shave, I'm working with 2 days worth of stubble here. And that's that. Now before we get further into the shave, if you're enjoying this video or other videos on my channel, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please consider becoming a subscriber, as it helps with the growth of the channel, but it also lets you know when I have a new video out. Alright, so as I build the lather on my face, let me share with you a pretty extensive scent note here, breakdown for Gael Laoch Orange. So the notes we have are mandarin orange, pink pepper, lemon, bergamot, lavender, geranium, nutmeg, sage, rosemary, vetiver, sandalwood, cedar. A note that I'm not familiar with and I actually don't know how to pronounce properly. It's olibanum, and I'll check afterwards how to say that one. And finally, patchouli. Again, this is featured in the Kodiak soap base, which I think is probably the best of the different bases Murphy and McNeil has to offer. As far as the scent goes, first let me offer a comparison to Gael Laoch. I did mention Gael Laoch, the original one, is based on Creed Viking, and Gael Laoch Orange is based on Viking Cologne. And there are some notable differences, the main one being the absence of rose. And rose was done in a very subtle way. It's not one of the main notes in the original Gael Laoch, but it's there. And some other notes kind of gave that kind of old school barbershop feel. Some would say it smelled a little bit like Old Spice. along with like mint and some other and some citrus and other stuff. This one leans heavily into the citrus. And I did mention there's a clean lavender woody vibe that is definitely there, but I think this one has more mass appeal. And in particular, if you are a citrus lover, and that includes fellow YouTuber Chris from IMCDB, you've got to check out this scent. Just a review, because I know there's like a dozen plus scent notes here. It has mandarin orange, lemon, and bergamot, all listed amongst the fruity citrus notes. And it is just wonderfully bright and strong. This one has punch, it's got power. And what I like is it's very unique. This does not smell like, I can't make a direct comparison to any other citrus scents out there, because it does have that complex composition like cologne, but at the same time, it doesn't smell super complicated. It smells intriguing. It smells different, which is really, that's really a big factor for me nowadays. Even trying new soap makers and different scents, I'm looking for something different that might stand out from the crowd. And I think, very wisely, Gael Laoch Orange chose a very likable scent, but a unique one. Now for my frag heads out there, you might be wondering, how close is this to the inspiration? How close is it to Viking Cologne? Unfortunately, I cannot give you that comparison, as I have not smelled the actual scent. It is on my list of things not to buy, because Creed fragrances are just, in my opinion, overpriced at this point. But even not to, even if I don't want to actually purchase it, I still want to get a reference for the real thing. So we'll revisit this, hopefully maybe during the holiday season while I'm at a mall or somewhere or a Creed counter, if I just happen to run into one. I do want to check out the scent, and I'll come back and be sure to give you an update, even if it's like a little mini video. But I know a lot of you are wondering, how close is it to the original? So let me report back on that at a future date. All right, so we are lathered up. Again, really dense, low structure, a low volume lather. It's not super airy and voluminous and fluffy like I think shave soaps were in the past. Anyway, let's go in for the first pass with the Chiseled Face Titanium Legacy razor. Oh, one other thing is this handle is called the Pineapple Twist. So there we go. Being a titanium razor, this is quite light. I think fully assembled, this comes in at either at or just under 55 grams. For those who are curious about lighter razors, but might have more budget constraints, aluminum is another great alternative if you like the performance of lighter razors. As I mentioned, I had two other shaves with this razor off camera, and both were quite excellent. I will say that one of the shaves I used, feather blade, that was a bit of a mistake. In fact, I think feather razor blades might not be for me, as there are quite a bit of blood spots, and I didn't even apply too much pressure during the shave. So that was a recent lesson I learned. That might also serve as fair warning if you are going from kind of standard or heavier razors to lighter razors. Please be sure to slow down, as I think there's a natural inclination to go fast. I think part of, speaking to fellow wet shaving hobbyists here, part of the reason I got into this was to really slow down and take my time with my shaves, especially to, if it yields less irritation and better results. Alright, so I'm going against the grain / across the grain right now. One thing I was just about to get into as far as talking about the scent of Gael Laoch Orange, in comparison to the original Gael Laoch has more of that old school vibe. The fact that it evokes, scent memories of Old Spice or some similarities to Old Spice. Makes it more in that, old school, classic, vintage type smell with a little bit of modernization. Where Gael Laoch really deviates is, I would say this further leans on being a more modern scent. So sometimes you hear people talk about like, oh, what's the approximate age range for a certain scent. I think it totally depends on your personality. Like, you can be a young dude in his early 20s who loves to smell like classic aftershaves. If that's the vibe you want to give off, that's not a problem at all. In general, the quote-unquote younger scents are sweeter and brighter, more citrusy. So in some ways, I want to say this is probably better suited for younger guys. But really, as a newly 40-year-old, I still really, really love and am really appreciating this scent as well. All right, guys. So very nice 3-pass shave today. So let's take a look at the splash here. Really wonderful scent on Gael Laoch Orange. I think this is gonna be a winner for a lot of folks, as long as you like citrus and as long as you like clean. This is a great scent offering for a shaving set. This restrictor is solid, actually. I'm gonna go back for a little bit more. Got citrus with a nice accompaniment of woods. That vetiver too is really making itself known in the splash, and kind of as the lather, as I was getting on, further along, some of that vetiver was in there to kind of give a little boost for the other notes. It's not, I know some, vetiver is not the favorite note of everyone necessarily, but it is used in a very complementary way to the citrus notes in the scent. So very nice, very nice. Okay, so some closing thoughts. Let's talk about the razor first, the Legacy. I gotta slow down. I was telling you guys you should slow down with lighter razors. And you can see right near the end here, I got myself right there under my lip. I could feel it too, where I was a little too steep with the angle. And that kind of feeds into like, oh, it's hard to find the right angle. I think as long as you're not rushing, it's fairly easy to find. This razor, the Legacy, really falls into that, smooth, low blade feel, but efficient. And that's, I know that's my taste in razors. That's, for many of you, that might be your taste as well. As far as similar razors go, this one really does remind me of the Charcoal Goods Everyday. That one, because of a hollow handle that it comes with, is also lighter, although it's stainless steel, but another one that doesn't have a lot of blade feel, but if you don't pay attention, it can get you. So yeah, be warned there if you're not used to lighter razors. And also, as far as cutting maybe like heavier beard growth, I can see this one having a little bit of a harder time, especially with like the chin area. I had to stop myself from overly buffing that area because I could still hear that there was a little bit of beard growth, even though, things are really fairly smooth right now as I feel around. But I can see if you have coarser beard hair, or you're looking at like 4 or 5 days worth of growth, this one, I'm not sure if it's enough efficiency for you there. I'm still putting the Legacy through its paces, so be prepared to see this razor for the next few videos. Now, as far as Gael Laoch Orange goes, this one is splendid. It is a really, really spectacular citrus clean scent, and it gets a really hearty thumbs up for me as far as scent goes. And also the Kodiak base, no slouch either, actually. It's in my tier system. It is in the S tier of shave soap bases. So really good, worth trying out if you've never tried it before. If you're curious about Gael Laoch Orange, or if you really love that Barbershop de los Muertos series and the third offering is on your radar, both are going to be released on December 12th at 8 a.m. Central Time. I also want to mention, this is not a limited release. They will restock if these popular scents get sold out. So if you are budgeting because of the holidays, just budgeting because you're trying to be easier on your wallet, you don't necessarily have to run out and grab this, as it will be, more will be made. However, both scents offered in the Kodiak base will only be for the first or second run, not necessarily all the runs. The plan eventually is actually to add both this one and Barbershop de los Muertos 3 into the regular offerings. Once it hits that regular offering stage, it switches over to their other base, which I haven't used yet, but I really need to, and that is their Aeon base. I believe that utilizes duck fat. So all that is to say that these two scents should be around when you are ready to purchase them. And that's a good thing. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me for today's shave. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll catch you next time. Take care. Today's video was made possible in part by our wonderful patrons. For more information about our Patreon, check out patreon.com/lathertalk. You can also check out our Etsy store and pick up a comfy Lather Talk t-shirt or coffee mug. Find all the links down below.